The assessment. High above the galactic core, the Dominion's flagship, Eternal Victory, hung motionless against a backdrop of glittering stars. Inside the vessel's strategic command center, Supreme Commander Vexera's crystalline form pulsed with shades of deep purple as she studied the holographic projection of a seemingly unremarkable solar system. Curious, she mused, her thought patterns rippling through the ship's psychic network. This species achieved nuclear fission nearly 3 centuries ago, yet they still rely on chemical rockets for space exploration. The assessment team's lead researcher, Director Zilm, moved his gelatinous form closer to the display. Indeed, Supreme Commander, the humans appear to be remarkably inefficient in their technological progression. They possess quantum computers but use them primarily for entertainment. They understand dark matter but haven't attempted to harness it for energy production. Vexera's crystalline edges sharpened, a sign of interest among her species. For 10,000 years, the Dominion had brought order to the galaxy, uplifting worthy species and eliminating threats before they could emerge. Their process was methodical, perfect, yet something about these humans nagged at her centuries of tactical experience. "Show me their conflicts," she commanded. The hologram shifted, displaying Earth's military history. Fascinating. They still maintain traditional armies, ballistic weapons. Their most advanced fighters are primitive atmospheric aircraft. Director Zilm bobbed in agreement, his translucent form rippling with amusement. They spend more resources on these movies and video games than on space exploration. Our analysis suggests they're a species trapped in technological adolescence, more interested in entertainment than advancement. The Supreme Commander absorbed the data through her crystalline matrix, but something felt wrong. The pieces didn't fit. How do they defend against solar flares, asteroid impacts, gamma-ray bursts? They don't, Ziln answered. Their planet is virtually defenseless against cosmic threats. They track near-Earth objects, but have no effective means to counter them. Vexera's form darkened, and their population still grows. Their civilization still advances. That defies all probability models. We believe they simply get lucky, Zilm offered. Their star is stable, their planet's magnetic field is strong, and they've faced no significant cosmic threats in their recorded history. The Supreme Commander extended a crystalline tendril, manipulating the hologram to show Earth's internet traffic. Yet they theorize about advanced physics. Their entertainment media constantly depicts space warfare, alien contact, faster than light travel. They imagine capabilities far beyond their means. Imagination appears to be their primary evolutionary advantage, Zilm noted. They compensate for their technological stagnation with unusual creativity. Our psychological analysis suggests they're aware of their cosmic vulnerability, but choose to focus on entertainment and consumer technology instead of practical defenses. Vexera's form pulsed with decision-making patterns. The Dominion's protocols were clear. Any species that achieved nuclear capability must either be uplifted or eliminated, allowing them to develop independently risked chaos in the carefully ordered galaxy. "Prepare the Enlightenment fleet," she commanded. "Standard protocol. 1,000 ships, full contingent of peacekeepers. We'll give them the opportunity to join the Dominion willingly before we proceed with forced uplift." Director Zilm pulsed with acceptance, but added a cautionary note. "Supreme Commander, there is one anomaly in our data that we haven't fully explained. Their power consumption doesn't match their visible infrastructure. They're using approximately 23% more energy than we can account for." "Could their efficiency be that poor?" Vexera asked. "Possibly," Ziln replied. "But some of our analysts suggest they might be hiding something. However, given their transparent global information network and our comprehensive surveillance, we haven't found any evidence of secret technological developments." The Supreme Commander considered this briefly before dismissing the concern. No species has ever successfully hidden significant technology from Dominion surveillance. "Prepare the fleet. We'll have this system properly ordered within one standard cycle. As the command center emptied, Vex-Era remained, studying the holographic Earth. The humans' habit of depicting advanced technology in their entertainment was interesting. Perhaps, she thought, it revealed their deep-seated desire for advancement, a desire the Dominion would soon fulfill, whether they wanted it or not. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the same holographic Earth from a very different perspective. Around her, the command center of Operation Silent Shield hummed with activity as operators tracked the Dominion ships that thought they were hiding beyond Pluto's orbit. They took the bait, she announced to the room. Just like the Arcturus Protocol predicted, they think our public technology represents our actual capabilities. General Marcus Wong nodded, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays showing Earth's true defensive capabilities. Capabilities that had remained hidden from every alien probe and surveillance system for the past century. How long until they launch their Enlightenment fleet? He asked. Sarah checked the quantum probability matrices. The Arcturus AI gives it 2 weeks. They're nothing if not predictable. Same playbook they've used on 1,000 other worlds. Then we proceed as planned, Wong declared. Maintain the facade. Let them think they're the advanced ones coming to uplift the primitives. After all, he allowed himself a small smile. Imagination is our primary evolutionary advantage. Around Earth, hidden in dimensional pockets that the Dominion science couldn't even theorize, humanity's real defense fleet waited. They had spent centuries preparing for this moment, carefully orchestrating their public image as a technologically stagnant species, while their true capabilities advanced far beyond anything the Dominion could comprehend. The game of deception was about to end, and the galaxy's oldest empire was about to learn why humanity had chosen to appear weak, because sometimes the best way to win a fight is to let your opponent think they've already won. First contact. In geosynchronous orbit above Earth, a communications satellite dutifully broadcast cat videos, social media posts, and streaming entertainment to the planet below. At least, that's what the Dominion sensors detected. In reality, the quantum core hidden within its mundane exterior was processing more data than all of humanity's publicly known computers combined. Enlightenment Fleet has crossed Saturn's orbit, the satellite's AI reported through the quantum network. 998 ships, matching known Dominion configurations. Arrival in 48 hours. In the strategic planning chamber of the Arcturus complex, 300 meters beneath Mount Fuji, humanity's leaders gathered. The chamber's walls displayed real-time feeds from thousands of cloaked sensors scattered throughout the solar system, tracking every movement of the approaching fleet. United Earth Defense Director Helena Rodriguez stood at the central podium, addressing representatives from every nation. The Dominion fleet is proceeding exactly as the simulations predicted. They're maintaining tight formation, shields down, weapons systems in standby. They still think this is a routine uplift mission. And our defensive grid? Asked the Chinese premier, his holographic form flickering slightly. Still completely undetected, Helena confirmed. The dimensional masking fields are performing perfectly. As far as their sensors can tell, we're still launching chemical rockets and playing with radio waves. A subtle tension filled the chamber. For 3 generations, humanity had maintained this deception, carefully crafting the image of a technologically stagnant species, while their true capabilities advanced far beyond anything the Dominion could imagine. Every rocket launch, every public satellite deployment, every breakthrough in conventional technology had been meticulously choreographed to maintain the facade. The Arcturus Protocol has served us well, the Indian president observed. But now we face its most crucial test. Are we certain they'll follow the standard uplift procedure? Dr. Chen stepped forward, her quantum tablet displaying probability matrices. The Dominion has used the same approach for over 10,000 years. They'll position their fleet in a display of overwhelming force, broadcast their demands for submission, and expect us to surrender in awe of their superior technology. General Long added, "They've never failed to subjugate a pre-FTL civilization. Their psychological profile shows extreme confidence bordering on religious certainty. They literally cannot conceive of the possibility that we might be more advanced." In high orbit, hidden behind dimensional veils, Earth's true defense fleet waited. Ships that could manipulate the fabric of space-time itself, weapons that could rewrite the laws of physics in localized areas, and defense systems that operated on principles the Dominion wouldn't discover for another 1,000 years. "Begin final preparations," Helena ordered. "Activate the planetary consciousness network, but keep it masked. Launch the quantum drone swarms, but maintain dimensional shifting. And most importantly, continue broadcasting cat videos. Let's not give them any reason to suspect we're anything but a species obsessed with digital entertainment." Across Earth, hidden facilities hummed with power as humanity's real technology awakened. In the Mariana Trench, antimatter reactors powered up. Beneath the Sahara, gravity manipulation arrays activated. In Antarctica, temporal stabilization fields ensured that humanity's more exotic weapons wouldn't accidentally unravel the local space-time continuum. Aboard the Dominion flagship, Supreme Commander Vexera reviewed the final approach plans. Her crystalline form glowed with satisfaction as she studied the humans' primitive defensive capabilities. A few thousand nuclear weapons, some basic radar systems, and a handful of chemical-propelled spacecraft. This would be the easiest uplift in centuries. "Prepare the standard Enlightenment broadcast," she ordered. "Maximum impact, full spectrum coverage. Let's show these primitives what real power looks like." Director Zilm's gelatinous form rippled with anticipation. "Should we power up the primary weapon systems? Just as a precaution?" "Unnecessary," Vexera declared. "Their most advanced weapons couldn't scratch our hull plating. Besides, showing active weapons might panic them. We want them to understand that resistance is futile, but we're not here to threaten them." As the Dominion fleet approached the asteroid belt, they remained completely unaware that every word, every decision, every movement was being monitored, analyzed, and predicted by humanity's quantum AI networks. Each ship's position was precisely tracked, their weaknesses mapped, their tactical options already countered before they could even consider them. In the Arcturus complex, Helena watched the approaching fleet with a mixture of anticipation and something almost like pity. "They really believe they're the advanced civilization coming to uplift the primitives," she mused. "How do you think they'll react when they realize the truth?" General Long shrugged. "The Arcturus protocol predicted they'll cycle through denial, shock, and panic in approximately 2.3 seconds once we reveal ourselves. After that, well, that's why we've spent 3 generations preparing for this moment." "Send the alert to all defense grid commanders," Helena ordered. "But remember, when they broadcast their demands, we play our part. We act surprised, scared, and overwhelmed. Let them think their shock and awe tactics are working." As the Dominion fleet crossed Mars orbit, humanity waited patiently. 300 years of deception were about to pay off, and the galaxy's most powerful empire was about to learn a harsh lesson about judging a civilization by its public face. In her private chambers, Supreme Commander Vexera composed what she believed would be a historic speech, the words that would bring humanity into the Dominion's embrace. She had no way of knowing that her speech would indeed be historic, but for very different reasons than she imagined. The stage was set, the players were in position, and the greatest case of technological sandbagging in galactic history was about to reach its climactic revelation. The deception falls. The Dominion fleet emerged from their final faster-than-light jump just beyond lunar orbit, their 1,000 ships arranged in a precise geometric pattern designed to awe primitive species. Supreme Commander Vexera's crystalline form pulsed with anticipation as she initiated the standard Enlightenment broadcast. "People of Earth," her message boomed across every communication frequency, overriding all radio and television signals. "I am Supreme Commander Vexera of the Dominion Enlightenment Fleet. Your civilization has been deemed worthy of uplift. Submit to our guidance, and we shall share technologies beyond your comprehension. Resist. And the broadcast cut off mid-sentence. For a moment, Vexera's crystalline form flickered with confusion. No species had ever dared to interrupt a Dominion Enlightenment broadcast. Technical malfunction, she demanded. Director Zilm's gelatinous form rippled with uncertainty. No, Commander. Something just took control of our communication systems. A new voice filled the Dominion's command network. It was calm, almost amused. Dominion Fleet, this is United Earth Defense Command. We appreciate your offer of technological enlightenment. However, we feel it's only fair to inform you that we've been monitoring your civilization for the past 3 centuries and have determined that your level of development is insufficient for meaningful exchange. Stunned silence filled the Dominion Command Center. Vexera's crystalline form darkened with disbelief. Impossible. Scan their planet. Show me their defensive capabilities. The holographic displays activated, but instead of showing Earth's primitive technology, they displayed nothing. The sensors couldn't penetrate whatever field now surrounded the planet. Having trouble with your sensors? The human voice asked pleasantly. Let us help you understand your situation better. Suddenly, the space around the Dominion fleet changed. Reality itself seemed to ripple as hundreds of massive ships simply appeared, emerging from what looked like folds in space-time. They were elegant, dark vessels that seemed to absorb light itself, operating on principles that the Dominion science couldn't even begin to comprehend. Impossible. Director Zilm exclaimed, his form losing cohesion in shock. Our surveys showed no signs of advanced technology. They were using chemical rockets, broadcasting entertainment signals. Yes, the human voice agreed. We find that keeping up appearances helps us identify potential threats. Your invasion fleet, for instance, was detected the moment it entered our galaxy. We've been preparing this welcome party ever since. Vexera's tactical training took over. Raise shields. Power up all weapons systems. Oh, those won't help, the human voice informed them. You see, while you were studying our public technology, we were studying your actual capabilities. Your shield frequencies are already compromised. Your weapon systems are targeting systems we projected. And your faster-than-light drives, well, they won't function within our null space field. As if to demonstrate, several human vessels simply passed through the Dominion's supposedly impenetrable shields as if they didn't exist. Others seemed to bend space around themselves, appearing simultaneously in multiple locations. In the Arcturus complex, Helena Rodriguez watched the Dominion fleet's confusion with satisfaction. Begin Phase 2, she ordered. Let's show them what 300 years of hidden technological development looks like. Across the solar system, humanity's true defensive grid activated. Massive structures emerged from dimensional pockets around every planet and major moon. A web of quantum energy fields sprang into existence, creating a complex network that made conventional space travel impossible without human authorization. What are you? Vexera demanded, her crystalline form pulsing with a mixture of fear and awe. We're what happens when a species learns it's not alone in the galaxy and decides to prepare accordingly, Helena responded. While your civilization was busy uplifting others, we were watching, learning, and developing technologies that operate on principles your science hasn't discovered yet. The demonstration continued as human ships began systematically disabling Dominion vessels, not through destruction, but through precise manipulation of local physics. Weapons refused to fire, shields collapsed, and engines simply ceased to function. Your empire has spent 10,000 years teaching other species to be like you, Helena explained. We spent 300 years learning how to be something entirely new. Those primitive satellites you detected, quantum supercomputers in disguise, our entertainment broadcasts, encoded data transmissions that your systems interpreted as cat videos. In her command chamber, Vexera watched helplessly as her mighty fleet was systematically neutralized by technology that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. Why? She finally asked. Why maintain this deception? The answer came from General Wong this time. Because, Supreme Commander, true superiority isn't about showing off your power. It's about understanding when not to show it. Your empire has spent millennia ensuring every civilization develops along your prescribed path. We chose a different way. As the last Dominion ship systems went dark, Helena made a final transmission. Don't worry, Supreme Commander. We're not going to destroy your fleet or harm your crew. Instead, we're going to do something far more interesting. We're going to teach you. After all, isn't that what advanced civilizations are supposed to do? The Dominion's greatest fleet hung powerless in space, surrounded by technology they couldn't understand, faced with the humbling realization that they had completely misjudged humanity. Their age of easy conquest had ended, not with a battle, but with a revelation. Sometimes, the most advanced civilization is the one wise enough to hide its power until the right moment. Tables turned. As the powerless Dominion fleet drifted in Earth's orbit, Supreme Commander Vexera experienced something entirely new to her species: humility. Through her ship's few functioning sensors, she watched as human vessels moved through space in ways that violated everything she thought she knew about physics. Your attention, please. Helena Rodriguez's voice echoed through the disabled Dominion ships. We'll begin transport shortly. Please remain calm. You may experience some momentary spatial displacement. Before Vexera could process these words, reality shifted. One moment she was on her command bridge. The next she found herself in a vast circular chamber deep beneath Earth's surface. Her crystalline form, along with the gelatinous mass of Director Zilm and other high-ranking Dominion officials, had been transported through what appeared to be a localized fold in space-time. The chamber they now occupied was both elegant and overwhelming. Holographic displays showed real-time views of space, but not as simple images. These were windows into multiple dimensions simultaneously. Streams of data flowed through the air in patterns that made Vexera's crystalline matrix ache as it tried to comprehend them. Welcome to the Arcturus complex, Helena said, stepping forward. She was flanked by General Wong and Dr. Chen, but what caught Vexera's attention was the subtle shimmer around their forms, some kind of personal dimensional field that her senses couldn't properly process. How? Zilm's gelatinous form rippled with distress. Our surveillance was perfect. We monitored every transmission, every energy signature. Did you? Dr. Chen asked, gesturing to one of the holographic displays. It showed a replay of Earth's past century, but from a very different perspective. While you watched our public technology, this is what was really happening. The display revealed massive underground cities, orbital facilities hidden in pocket dimensions, and technological achievements that seemed more like magic than science. Ships that could manipulate gravity as easily as the Dominion manipulated light, energy systems that drew power from the quantum fabric of reality itself. 300 years ago, General Wong explained, we detected your first probe entering our solar system. Instead of destroying it, we studied it. We learned everything about your technology, your protocols, your patterns of conquest. Sorry, uplift. And we made a decision. We would advance on our own terms, Helena continued. We developed technologies that operated on principles your science hadn't discovered. We hid our true progress behind a carefully maintained facade of primitive development. Every public breakthrough was calculated to reinforce your assumptions about us. Vexera's crystalline form pulsed with realization. The power consumption discrepancy, the 23% we couldn't account for. Dr. Chen smiled. Actually, we were using about 2,300% more power than you detected. You just couldn't perceive the other 2277%. Your sensors literally couldn't detect energy being used in dimensions you haven't discovered yet. Around them, the chamber's displays showed humanity's real fleet in action. Ships phased through multiple dimensions simultaneously, weapons that altered the local laws of physics, defensive systems that could redirect entire attack fleets into pocket universes. But why? Vexera asked. If you were this advanced, why not simply announce yourselves to the galaxy? Because of this, Helena gestured, and a new display appeared, showing the history of the Dominion's encounters with other civilizations. Every species you've encountered, you've forced to develop along your prescribed path. Your way or no way. We chose to find our own path. And now? Ziln asked, his form quivering slightly. Now we're going to do something unprecedented, General Wong said. We're going to help the Dominion evolve. Not through force, not through uplift, but through understanding. Your empire has spent millennia teaching others to be like you. It's time for you to learn how to be something more. As if to demonstrate, Dr. Chen made a subtle gesture. The air around them filled with equations and models depicting physics far beyond Dominion science. You're faster than light drives. We developed something better 2 centuries ago. Your quantum communications. We transcended those limitations within a decade of discovering them. Not because we're inherently superior, but because we weren't constrained by believing we already knew everything. Your fleet will be returned, fully functional, Helena assured them. But first, we're going to show you something that will change your understanding of what's possible. Consider it a true cultural exchange, not an uplift, but a partnership. The chamber's displays shifted again, showing wonders that made even Vexera's advanced mind struggle to comprehend. Humanity hadn't just surpassed Dominion technology. They'd taken an entirely different path of development, reaching understandings that the Dominion's rigid thinking had never allowed them to imagine. Welcome, Helena said with a gentle smile, to humanity's real civilization. The question is, are you ready to learn? For the first time in her long existence, Supreme Commander Vexera found herself hoping that her empire's confidence had been misplaced. Perhaps, she thought as she watched humans casually manipulate the fabric of reality itself, it was time for the teachers to become students. New Galactic Order. 1 standard galactic year after the failed uplift mission to Earth, the Dominion's Grand Assembly Hall hosted an unprecedented gathering. Representatives from 1,000 worlds filled the crystalline chamber, their varied forms creating a living tapestry of galactic diversity. But all attention focused on the human delegation standing calmly at the center. Helena Rodriguez, now Earth's ambassador to the galaxy, stood before the assembly. Behind her, a shimmer in reality marked the presence of humanity's dimensional technology, a subtle reminder of their capabilities that had fundamentally changed the galaxy's balance of power. Distinguished representatives, she began, her voice carrying naturally to every being present. 1 year ago, the Dominion discovered that their understanding of technological progress was incomplete. Today, we're here to share a different vision of galactic civilization. The Assembly's massive displays showed images that still stunned many viewers. Human ships phasing through multiple dimensions, cities that existed partially outside normal space, and technologies that seemed to defy the very laws of physics that the Dominion had thought immutable. Supreme Commander Vexera, her crystalline form now bearing the subtle iridescence that marked those who had studied at Earth's advanced institutions, moved forward. In the past year, we have learned more than we did in the previous 10,000. Humanity has shown us that true advancement comes not from following a single path, but from exploring all possibilities. Dr. Chen activated a holographic display showing the new galactic framework they had developed together. The age of forced uplift is over, she announced. In its place, we propose the Galactic Exchange Initiative. Each civilization will be free to develop along its own path, sharing knowledge while maintaining their unique perspectives. The display showed dozens of worlds where this new approach was already bearing fruit. Species that the Dominion had dismissed as primitive were revealing surprising innovations, once freed from the constraint of following the approved development path. We've discovered, General Wong added, that diversity of thought leads to diversity of solution. The Dominion's standardized approach to civilization, while well-intentioned, had actually been limiting galactic progress. Director Ziln, who had become one of the strongest advocates for change within the Dominion, demonstrated by shifting his gelatinous form through a pattern that would have been impossible a year ago. A technique learned from human dimensional physics combined with his species' natural abilities. Already, Helena continued, we're seeing unprecedented advancements. The Proxima Collective has combined their crystalline computing with human quantum theory to achieve computational densities we thought impossible. The Rigel Federation has integrated their biotech with our dimensional science to cure diseases we once thought untreatable. Around the chamber, representatives shared their own stories of transformation. Species that had once competed now collaborated, each bringing their unique perspectives to solve problems that had stumped the galaxy for millennia. But perhaps most importantly, Helena said, her voice softening, we've learned from each other. Humanity's tendency to hide our capabilities came from a place of caution. The Dominion's desire to control came from a genuine wish to help. By understanding each other, we've both grown beyond our limitations. Vexera moved to stand beside Helena, a powerful symbol of the new order. The galaxy stands at a threshold, she declared, not of uniformity, but of harmonious diversity. Not of control, but of collaboration. The displays shifted one final time, showing the new Earth Academy of Multidimensional Sciences. Representatives from hundreds of worlds now studied there, each bringing their own knowledge and perspectives to push the boundaries of what was possible. A year ago, Helena concluded, the Dominion came to Earth believing they would lift up a primitive species. Instead, they found partners in creating something greater than either of us could have achieved alone. Today, we extend that partnership to all species, regardless of their current technological level. Because true advancement doesn't come from following a prescribed path. It comes from having the courage to forge your own. As the assembly erupted in agreement, the displays showed scenes from across the galaxy. Species that had once been bound by Dominion protocols, now exploring their own paths, sharing discoveries that would have been impossible under the old system. The age of standardized development was over. The age of infinite possibility had begun. In Earth orbit, humanity's dimensional ships patrolled alongside reformed Dominion cruisers, their different technologies complementing each other in ways that would have seemed impossible a year ago. The galaxy had changed, not through conquest or force, but through the simple revelation that true strength lies not in imposing one's path on others, but in helping each civilization find its own way forward. And somewhere in deep space, another probe detected signs of a newly emerging civilization. But this time, instead of a Dominion uplift fleet, they would be greeted by a joint human-Dominion diplomatic mission, ready not to conquer or control, but to welcome them as equals into a galaxy that had finally learned to embrace diversity in all its forms. The greatest empire in the galaxy had intended to teach humanity their way of progress. Instead, they had learned that sometimes the best teacher is the one who appears to be a student. And in that lesson, the galaxy had found a new way forward, together.